Well, howdy again, everyone. This is Jeff Adler, continuing my video series, Why I'm Right 2.0. And in the vein of why I think I'm right, because I am, and for our 20th chapter, I thought I'd switch things up a little bit, change things up a little bit, and veer off of politics just for one video, I suppose. We can do that. As some of you know, I am a man of many pet peeves, passions, things that bug me, things I like, and I'm not always just thinking about politics, even though politics is in everything and all around us, kind of like the Force, but every now and then I do think of other things. And if you know me, you know I have other pet peeves, including bad driving. So today, just for fun, I thought I'd pontificate, I suppose, on how not to drive. Now, almost every one of you over the age of 16 drives a car, and every one of you thinks that they live in a place where they have the worst drivers, or know where that place is. They all have their pet peeves about certain types of driving, drivers, or ways of driving, things they see on the road that drives them bananas. But of course, the way my mind works is I see it all, and I record it all, and I remember it all. And it gets like with my book that I wrote years ago. It was just adding and adding and adding until I just had to finally just come out with it and relieve the pressure valve. Well, watching drivers do their thing out there on the roads over the years, you sometimes just have to vent. Which is really what this video series is for me. It's a cathartic way of venting without going after people instead, or dealing with people instead, and it gets it off my chest. Because there are a lot of bad drivers out there, as I call them, stupid drivers, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but I seem to notice this. It seems like certain days of the week, not the same day every week, but it just seems like maybe one day a week, all the bad drivers are out on the road at the same time. I don't know if you ever noticed. It's not scattered like evenly, perfectly. No, it seems to be like it's almost like a bad driving cluster. Or something about the stars aligning or something, and all of a sudden everybody on the road's an idiot. I call this Stupid Driver Day, and we have a Stupid Driver Day about once a week in Vegas here. It may be more where you live, maybe every day where you live. If I wanted to be honest, I see a driver do something wickedly stupid at least once a day. There's no, getting around that. If you drive enough, if you drive around enough, you will see something done in a car that makes your head scratch, or make you scratch your head. So it's not always just Stupid Driver Day. But what bugs me is that it's like the old Disney cartoon. They used to make these animated shorts that came on between Disney movies, and I remember distinctly a number of them involving Goofy, where he was Mr. Average, Joe American, just kind of, loved his family, his children, and small animals, and he was just the perfect neighbor, and everything was cool, and he was good at his job and whatever. But the second he got behind an automobile, he became this raging lunatic. He became a different person and made all the wrong moves and all the stupid things and cut people off and cursed and became mean and ornery and selfish and all this stuff. And it always reminds me, whenever I see people do that, of that those series of Goofy cartoons when he was the world's worst driver. It was in a way, the Disney short was a lot of like what I'm going to do today, and that is a way of explaining how not to drive. Now, anyone who took driver's ed in school And for those of you who also went to any driver school because of a ticket, which I've been to a couple few, you'll know that there's certain things they try to impress upon the people that they are teaching or training. And one of those things is a thing called defensive driving. Now, if you're on a motorcycle with very little protection, defensive driving makes some sense. When you are driving out there with a target on your back, hard to see, like that. But defensive driving 100% of the time doesn't work. Nobody gets anywhere. Nobody goes anywhere. Everyone causes more problems by being overly defensive than they would if they would just drive normal. And if you are always defensive driving, I'm not talking about unsafe driving, I'm just saying if you are always defensive driving, you're probably causing more problems than you realize. There's a right way and a wrong way to drive. There's a legal way and an illegal way to drive. And there's also a dumb way and a smart way to drive. And these things are not always understood by everybody. So, what I'm going to try to do in this video, chapter 20, How Not to Drive, is to show some of the biggest things I see out there on the road that drive me crazy, and why they're a problem, why I think they're a problem, and what you can do about it if you're thinking about it. There are certain aspects to defensive driving that do make sense that nobody seems to have the gift to do, the ability to do. And one of those is knowing what the hell's going on around you. Now, why is this important is obvious, but it is so seldom done. People walk down the street without knowing what's going on around them. Everyone's in their phones today, and we don't have any interaction among people. And it's the same in the car. I've watched people drive where their head is looking forward. They never look at their rearview mirrors. They never look in their dashboard. They got a blinker going on for 10 minutes, 5 miles down the road, without noticing it's on. I've seen people driving with headphones on. How are you going to hear an ambulance? Or let alone the click of your blinker being on. I've seen people who do, and you all have. Everyone's done it. The idea behind this video is don't be that person. Don't be that guy. Don't be that driver. And being aware of your surroundings all the time, not just behind a wheel, but walking down the street, going into public buildings where there are other people, being aware of other people, being aware of what they're maybe not paying attention to, let alone what you're paying attention to, will get you so far in this life and this world you would not believe. I'm not talking this head on a swivel. I'm talking about paying attention. When you're driving down the road, you can actually see what cars or drivers are going to do before they do it. You can actually see, cars have body language. If someone's trying to change lanes, sometimes they alert you to it. They're going to slide over a little bit, and before they signal, or the driver's head's going to turn, or little indications. Sometimes you can tell what they're doing or going to do before they even know it. Traffic has patterns. It has ebbs, flows, currents. These can be predicted if you know the road. If you drive down the same road every day to work, you tend to find out where the hang-ups, where are the slow parts, where are the fast parts, what lanes get slower or faster at certain junctions. Uh, Traffic has a life, a heartbeat. It has a feel to it. And if you're just tunnel vision or texty person or headphone person, you are going to be completely clueless as to what that is, or how to pick up on it, or how to tell, or how to sense it. It's not simply head on a swivel. Okay, there's a car. That's a big part of it. There are people who think that the rearview mirror is a vanity mirror. You know, uh, mostly women, because they're doing their makeup on their way to work because they didn't plan ahead long enough to get their makeup done in their house. So I see these every stop. It turns to them. It's all about them. It's not about what's going on around them. It's all about them. Barbie's mobile makeup center. Down, walking, driving down the road. Even while they're driving. Just one little problem is that make mascara wand sticks you in the eye. So, there's a lot of things that are so obvious as they don't even require comment. But most people do things on the road, and I'll bet you half of them haven't a clue that they did it, and the other half don't know what they did was wrong, because they don't understand what it's like to be the other driver. Everything is here. We are such a self-centered society today that we can drive down the road and not even know the chaos we've caused. Do it in our lives, and we do it behind an automobile. So what I'm going to hopefully try to bring to light here is what that chaos is out there, and hopefully someone will see this and they'll go, oh, I do that. I didn't know that's a problem. Or, oh, I didn't know that was a rule or a law or something you need to worry about. Oh, I don't give a damn. Whatever. I'm just going to be that guy. I'm going to be goofy. Crazy goofy. So, full disclosure, I'm a leadfoot. Okay, that's over with. No, I drive fast. I like to get where I'm going. I like to get there faster than most people. My favorite thing is basically open road in front of me. I like the cars behind me. I don't like them on the side. I definitely don't like them in my blind spot. And I don't like them in front of me. I like open road. Now, to achieve open road, you have to get in front of the other cars. Of course, on a freeway, a lot of times traffic is in bunches. You have this bunch of traffic, then you have a space, and then you have another bunch of traffic and space. Now, if you're a leadfoot like me and you get past all the cars and you got open road in front of me, well, you're making up that dead space, and now suddenly you're in the back of the next pack in front of you. And I got to go through the whole thing all over again. So it's sometimes self-defeating. I get that. Some people say, well, fast driving is bad driving. I disagree. Driving fast is okay if you know how and you know when. And I'm not talking about excessive speed. I'm not talking about veering in and out of traffic in cars. I'm not talking about laying rubber on the road wherever I can. I just go faster than the speed limit. But right there is one thing that most people don't understand. What is a speed limit? There are two kinds of speed limits. Speed limit, which says speed limit on the sign, and maximum speed. Maximum speed is the speed you cannot pass. That's it. Done. Speed limit is a suggestion that is ascertained by the nature of the road. How many entrances and exits to it are there? How many cars frequent the thing? Is it commercial? Is it residential? How many lanes are there? How many potential trouble spots are there? This is what determines the speed limit of a road. It is a suggestion saying all things being equal in normal conditions, this is the suggested speed you should be driving. A cop pulls someone over for speeding if they think, for any reason, that you're going faster than the speed limit is potential to cause problems for you or other other drivers. Not simply because you're speeding. People complain, how come I got a ticket for being 5 miles over the speed limit and that guy got a ticket for being 10 miles over the speed limit? Why can't I go 10 miles over the speed limit like the other guy? This is simple because the cop who pulled you over, the police officer, thought that 5 miles an hour in that particular location was a problem. But you'll notice that most people don't get tickets for 3, 4, 5 miles over. Oh yeah, there's exceptions to the rule, and there's always going to be that case. But most people don't get a ticket till they're pretty much way past the speed limit. That's because the cop does not want to have to go through the chance of the ticket being revoked for being persnickety or, a little iffy in terms of whether it was safe or not. But most people also don't realize that they can argue tickets. Now, the burden's on them. The burden of proof is on them. And of course, they have to go through the pain in the butt process of going to court or doing certain other things. But there are ways of getting out of a ticket. And the answer is simple. Judge, according to my experience, at the time I was given the ticket, the roads were clear, the weather was clear, there were no hazards on the road, there were not a lot of cars, there were no cars that would necessarily I could affect by having driven X miles an hour past the speed limit. I felt that the conditions were okay for my experience as a driver and for the safety of myself and others. And I guarantee you, more than half the time, a judge would take that into consideration because, after all, the speed limit is a suggestion, not a hard, written in stone decree. And most people don't realize that. And I don't take advantage of that, and that's why I go fast. I go fast because there's no reason not to, in many cases. And because, like I said, I like to get where I'm going. Sometimes you need to be faster. And being slower is actually a problem. And I'll get into some of that as we progress into these next few video parts. So in the next part, we'll start getting to actual things drivers do that drive me crazy. See you then.